So yesterday I was, falling asleep. I was, groggy. I was kind of looking on social media before I slipped off to sleep. And one of the guys that I grew up with, in high school, he actually openly shared that, he was going through a very depressing time in his life. He lost his lady that he was dating, and I think he was engaged to her. He was, had this great paying job. Was very successful and stuff like that. But also, it was he was in a season in his life where he was doing really good. His mom was healthy, and then systematically things started to change. It was like back-to-back hits. I don't know what happened in his relationship, but eventually the lady and him, things didn't work out, and so she left. And he eventually lost his job, which was a very nice job. And then on top of that, his mom really started getting sick, and I think, if I remember correctly, he mentioned, she had to go into like a special home, and that was after she was in the hospital for I don't know how many weeks. And I guess, what was really kind of bothered me was the fact that I have this guy's number. I have him on Facebook, I have him on Instagram, and I had no idea that he was going through such a depressing time. And, kind of convicted me a little bit, because I'm one of those guys that I tend to kind of go into my own world. I sort of embrace my introverted personality to a large degree. But, it really kind of bothered me that, there are people that are probably in my life right now. It might be some of you guys looking at this video that are hurting. They're going through a very sad, terrible time in your life. And, some of us, I feel like, even for me, I love people, but I don't reach out to as many people as I could. And the reality is I could be ignorant because I just don't even check up on people that, I know. It could be people I used to work with. It could be people I currently work with. It could be people at my church, neighborhood, friends, family. And I really have this habit of just drifting into my own world. And so, I go through my stuff too, but, I have a great support system in my life. My friends, family, church, so people got my back, and it's really helpful. It's really beautiful that God has given me the privilege to have so many wonderful relationships, rich relationships, people giving me the privilege to be their friend. But I would like to, starting even right now, I would like to assist people and help people. And, even if, there are some of you who are going through a very difficult time in life, I may not have all the answers, but I would definitely have a dialogue with you. And it could be, go get lunch or something. It could be, maybe a text, we text back and forth, message, or just something, some type of dialogue. But please, let me just encourage you, reach out to people if you're hurting, if you're going through problems. Sometimes people have the words that you need. God can use them. Sometimes it could be resources that, somebody have access to certain resources. Maybe even if it's not, directly from that person, they can help you and assist you with getting the resources that you need. But just don't try to fight in the dark. When you got people who love you, especially if you have people who actually love God, who display the nature of Christ, reach out to them. They can help you. I have so many great people in my life, like I told you, who help me and encourage me to be a better me. So it's just so helpful. It's really cool just to keep that in mind. When you're hurting, realistically, it's like life will tear us apart if we let it. So it's important just to remember that we have access to people who love us, who care for us. And it was sad because even a lady on my Facebook recently, she asked for prayer. She mentioned that she's homeless and been living in her car for it's kind of random, because it's like, here is somebody who's been posting for, I don't know, a year or two. And I even had a short relationship with her, just chatting back and forth and messaging, and one day, like months ago, and it's supposed to be somebody walking with the Lord as well, and I had no idea that she was going through these difficulties. It's very tragic to see that there are people in our lives that are going through crap like that, of sadness and depression and challenges. And what first thing I asked her was, are you plugged into a church? That's what the church is actually supposed to do, is help you and give you resources. And she told me no. And so it was sad to even hear that, because I'm thinking, you're somebody who is always, professing God's truth and stuff like that. You're supposed to be plugged into a church. A God-honoring church would not allow for you to be kicked down by life like that. My primary church is Core Church, and I just know that the pastors and the different ministries we have there, they just wouldn't allow it. I mean, they're not going to carry me for the rest of my life, but they would get me started with something if I reached out to them. I mean, that's why we give tithes and offerings, and we extend like these free will offerings. So, but yeah, I guess it just kind of bothered me a little bit when I was listening to my boy's video. It kind of convicted me myself. And so I might even reach out to him, this weekend just to see if we can have a sit down and talk, because, I can't allow that, when I got people in my life, like probably, I think he's in this neighborhood. I'm always seeing him, when I'm running errands and stuff, and it's not going to work for me, All right, you guys, just remember, reach out if you're hurting, It's, we got too many people in our lives to be fighting by ourselves. All right, guys.